What's up everybody, this is Gunter Severlo. Today I'm going to show you how to navigate Virtual Arsenal and create a loadout. At the top, let's go to Tutorials and then down to Virtual Arsenal. Once you get to Virtual Arsenal, the first thing you're going to notice is your character. This is currently a randomized loadout. This is not how you're going to look unless you want it. At the top, we have an icon for a weapon, which represents the section that we're currently in, which is weapons and gear. And then here we have the icon of a garage, and this represents basically vehicles, tanks, and so forth. So you have here, if you click on the icon, you have cars and trucks that you can test out and take a look at and customize. You have tanks and armored vehicles, different types of helicopters and UAVs, and you have fixed wings, you have fighter jets and planes, boats, and static weapons. So we're mainly going to cover the weapons and the gear. At the left we have 18 icons that represent different items, and at the bottom we have another menu. So let's start at the bottom. So if you click on exit here, this will bring you back to the main menu of the game. If you click this, this will hide the user interface. If you click again, it'll bring it back. You can also press backspace and then press backspace again, and that will hide it and unhide. If you click on random, this will randomize your loadout. Like that. If you click on save, this will save the current loadout that either you want this or you create something. This will open a saved loadout. This will export a loadout. This will import a loadout, and this you can try a loadout. Let's start at the top left here and go over each one of what one of these does. If I hover my mouse cursor over each one of these icons, you get a different name that comes up that represents those icons. So this represents the rifle menu. When I say menu, when you click on one of these boxes, you get a list that comes up. So starting with this one, this menu represents all the weapons ranging from assault rifles, sniper rifles, submachine guns, machine guns. Now at the top, if you scroll your mouse wheel, you can scroll the list, or you could use your mouse cursor to move it up and down. At the top, you could sort by mod by clicking on it. You could sort it alphabetically, which will basically put every weapon's name in alphabetical order from A to Z. Or you could sort it by mod. Now if you sort it by mod, then all your DLC weapons will be grouped together in their own areas. So when you look at this list here, all your vanilla Arma 3, basically all the weapons that come with Arma 3 itself, will be at the top if you set this by mod. And they won't have any icon to the right of them. So these are all the vanilla Arma 3 weapons. Now if you scroll down, as you notice that some of these weapons have different icons. These icons represent the DLC if you bought the DLC that come with the game. These icons are represented by the Marksman DLC, which are like all sniper rifles and different types of rifles related, as you can see by the crosshair. And then you have the Apex DLC, which is represented by this. And then you have the Contact DLC, which is represented by that. And that's about it. If you go to the next tab, we have another menu that comes up. Now, as you notice, there is another menu that comes up here. I'm not going to cover that right now until we get through this entire list, and then once we start building a loadout, then we'll go over this list. So under the Launchers tab, if you click Launcher, another menu will come up, and basically this section, this menu represents all the launchers that shoot rockets or missiles. And again, grouped by or sorted by mod, you can keep all the DLC weapons together. If we go to the handgun tab, then you get a menu of different handguns, and of course if you sort by mod you get the different DLC weapons. If we click on the uniform, the uniforms are represented by different icons, and of course they have their own names. So at the top, if you sort this alphabetically, of course you're gonna have stuff all over the place, but I like to sort by mod. Then you could tell where the stuff is coming from. So you have all your uniforms. When they don't have an icon, it's all vanilla Arma 3. So there's a lot of uniforms and stuff for Arma 3. And then we have Apex DLC icon here. You scroll down, you got Contact DLC, IDAP DLC, that one I forget the name of, and then you've got this one, the Art of War DLC. And if you look at your soldier, your uniform is basically your shirt and your pants. So that's kind of what the icon is going to. Next is the vest. So let's click on the vest icon and let's sort this by mod. And of course the vest is what you wear on the upper body. That's basically his harness right here. So at the top you have all the vanilla Arma 3 vests, and these are all your chest gear, harnesses, breathers, tactical vests, and so forth. And then of course you scroll down, you have your DLCs. Anything you have for DLC is there. Next is the backpack icon, and here we have all the things for the backpacks. So we sort this by mod, and we have a lot of different types of backpacks for Arma 3 itself. And then we come down to DLC. These are some of the DLC that come with Zeus. Then you have Marksman DLC, Apex DLC, Contact DLC, IDAP DLC, Art of War, and then Malden DLC. Next is helmets, or basically headgear. The headgear is covered basically everything that you put on your head. So that's going to be hats, helmets, bandanas. Here we have facewear, and facewear is basically everything that you put on your face. So that could be glasses, baklavas, bandanas, masks, breathers, shades, glasses. Here we have NVGs or night vision, so you have different types of night vision, and also your DLC here. Here we have binoculars, range finders, laser designators, and so forth. Here we have maps, and if you have different types of mods, they might have different types of maps. Here we have a terminal. You have different types of terminals. You have GPS, and these are mainly terminals for UAVs. Here we have communications, which is basically radio. Then you have navigation, which is your compass. Then you have a watch, so you can have different watch. For the Contact DLC, you have a chemical detector, and of course there's a watch. Here you have, you could change the face of your character. And here we have the voice. So if you change the voice, for some reason he's not saying nothing, so I don't know what to tell you there. And here we have insignia. You can have just different insignia here. Let's create a loadout. What I'm going to do is I established a loadout already that is empty, so we can start fresh. I'm just going to put this guy in his skivvies or his underwear, and we're going to create a loadout from scratch. Before we do that, we're going to go over some camera controls. So to begin with, to move your character around and look at him, hold down your left mouse button and move your mouse to the left, and it will do that. If you move your mouse to the right, your character will do that, or the screen will do that. If you hold it down, if you pull it down, it'll do that. If you push it up, it'll push it forward, it'll do that. So if you let go of your left mouse button and you hold down your right mouse button, if you move your mouse to the left, your character will pan. Move it to the right, it'll pan. If you move it up, if you move your mouse down, it'll pan down. If you move it forward, it'll pan up. And lastly, if you scroll your mouse wheel back, it'll zoom out, and if you scroll your mouse wheel in, it'll zoom in. Let's create a loadout, and to begin with, let's give this guy a uniform so he's not standing in his skivvies. So we're going to give him some combat fatigues, and from there we're going to give him a vest. So we're going to put something on his chest. I'm going to scroll down, give him a tactical vest, and from there we're going to give him a backpack so you can see what we got so far. Give him a backpack, and we'll give him a salt pack coyote, or maybe salt pack khaki. How about we go with coyote? That seems to be fitting, I suppose. Next, we can give him some sort of headgear, and I think let's go with a boonie hat, sand. It's all right. Could also do khaki. That seems kind of dark. Let's do sand. And next, we're going to give him some face wear. So let's go down to bandana. Maybe khaki. Khaki is okay. Let's give him a tan one. That seems more fitting. So if you scroll in, you can see what he's got so far. Alright, so he's got a backpack, vest, and everything. His basic gear. Now let's get into weapons. So if you sort this by mod, you'll have everything nice and grouped. You have all your Arma 3 vanilla content at the top. Then you have all your DLC weapons from there. We're going to use an MX 6.5. And I actually want this guy to hold it forward. So we're going to do what we're going to do is we're going to go try. So he has the gun forward. And we'll press escape. We'll go back to Arsenal. And that way he has his gun out. It's easier to customize this way than it is if he's got it on his back. Alright, so now if you just don't want the icons there, just go like that. It's easier to see. Just either hit backspace or hide. But that'll give you an idea of what he's got. Actually, I make him stand upright. Go like that with your character. He should be standing up. That's a little better. With the weapons, now that we've chosen his gun, we're gonna go to the right here. For the weapons menu, for the rifles and stuff, you'll have a menu that comes up. Now, at the top here, you have, these are all the sights that are gonna go on his weapon. So you can have a sight or you cannot. So currently it is empty. We're going to choose a sight, and the sight I want to use is going to be the top one. So we're going to click on that, and that basically puts that sight on top of his gun. Alright, so that's what that does. Now if you go to attachments, rail attachments, click on that menu, you can add different stuff, like a flashlight. That'll put it on the side of the gun. Perfect for nighttime. And you could also add an IR laser pointer, which will change that. So you can't have both, obviously. So we're just gonna go with a flashlight. Alright, zoom out a little. And the next section is muzzle attachments. So you click on that, and these are basically suppressors. So that'll go on this part of the gun, and let's choose a suppressor that's best suitable for this gun. We'll click on that. That thing's big. Wow. So we could either have tan like that, which I prefer, or you can have black. Black looks pretty cool, but I'm gonna go with the tan. You could also use that one, which is smaller. That seems to be more fitting. So let's go with that one. That looks pretty cool. We could also use a vanilla one, which is that. But we're going to go with this. Stealth Sound Suppressor. We'll just use that. Alright. And next, in your next tab, is a bipod. So you could put a bipod on here if you wanted to. I'm going to sort this by mod. There's no vanilla bipods for this gun. Just everything's from DLC. So let's see. Let's pick NATO Sand. You don't really need a bipod for this. I mean, you can if you want, but I'm basically just showing you what you can attach to the gun. This type of gun you don't need a bipod for, not in my opinion. So we're going to click on empty and leave that empty. So as you can see, that's what this menu does for the weapons tab. Next is a launcher. Do we want to give this guy a launcher? Let's click on the launchers tab. And let's give this guy an RPG. So he's going to have an RPG now. And on the menu to the right, there's really nothing for an RPG, so nothing to worry about there. And then let's go to handguns. Now if we try this, you'll see that your character has these things. And then of course there's the RPG. Which didn't do anything to it. Alright, let's go back to the arsenal. And we're going to give this guy a pistol, because I always prefer to have sidearms. So let's give this guy a 45 caliber, and we're going to give him ACP C2 45 caliber. So if we switch to that gun, and you exit where you try it, he'll have his gun out. So for this gun, it also has its own menu, and you go to the right. You could attach a flashlight to it, which you could see. We could put a flashlight on there. And then we have muzzle attachments, and the only one for this is this one, Sound Suppressor .45 ACP, and that'll basically put the suppressor at the end of the gun. This won't have any bipods, and that's it. The big question that may arise is, how do we give ammo to these weapons? So let's start with the uniforms. We click on the uniform. Your uniform, your vest, and your backpack are the only ones that will carry ammunition, be it for your main assault rifle here, or your pistol, or your rocket launcher. Those are going to be the only ones that carry any type of ammunition. Let's click on uniform. For the uniform, you're going to go to the right. Now, as you can see, currently the slot highlighted here is your main assault rifle's ammunition. So this is the clips. These are the clips for this gun. That's what all this is. This number here represents how many clips you have in your uniform. So you have 3 clips of 30 rounds, 6.5 millimeters for this gun, and then you have 1 clip for your pistol here. If you click on the other slot, so these are only single magazines. This is how many there are. These are multiple magazines, and basically this is like all the different types of magazines that you could choose for your gear. This basically just gives you everything, not anything specific. It really depends. This is what you have if you click single. This is magazines for currently selected weapons. That's what that is. And then you have grenades. If you click on grenades, we don't have any types of grenades. So you have chem lights, IR grenades, and smoke grenades. Let's go back to here. So anything that is not lit up means you don't have any of it. And if you look at the bar at the bottom here, that shows you how much space there is in your uniform. They're really not going to give you a lot of space for ammunition stuff. They're not really meant for it. So if you go to grenades, you could load up a chem light. If you click on it, you notice this bar increases. So once that does that, then everything fades. Once it fades like that, that means you can't load anymore. So I took it away and they lit up. That means there is space for them. So we're going to use smoke grenade. We're going to add one smoke grenade, and that's it for that. And then here, this is the explosives tab. Here's will be all your explosives. And then here is your miscellaneous items tab. Normally I would put a first aid kit in there, so we're going to go to grenades. We're going to get rid of this. Go back to that. Actually, go back to here. And get rid of that. So here we have plus and minus. So minus takes away, plus adds. Take away, adds. So we're going to take away. That way we create space. We could add more of these, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go to miscellaneous items and add a first aid kit, because that's important to have. So that's it for that side. Next we're going to go to the vest. So click on vest, and this is the vest that we have. And then we're going to go to the right, and your vest is going to give you a lot of room. So at the top we're going to need some more magazines for our weapon here. Currently we only have 3. 3 doesn't really last that long. I mean, we have 3 in our uniform. That's what that means. So I think we'll just add some more. Let's add like 4 more. And then if we go down towards the bottom here on the uniforms page, we don't have any clips for the pistol. There's our pistol here. So we click on vest, and right here we have 2. I think 3 is a good base. So we have 3 of those, 4 of those, and then I'm going to go down to grenades. We don't have any grenades. I like to use RGN grenades, so let's add about 5 of those. And RGO grenades, let's use about 2 of those. We actually only have room for 1. So we're filled up with grenades and ammo for that, for your vest. Your vest is full. That's all you can add. Let's go to the backpack. So the backpack, you can carry a lot more stuff with it. And automatically with the backpack, we have 2 PG 7VM heat grenades, which is basically rocket rounds that go to this guy. Those are always going to be in your backpack. And if you wanted to, we could add more. So now you got 3. Now if we wanted to add some type of explosive, you click on the explosive tab, and let's put in explosive charge. That'll give you 1. So you notice things they get tinted as you add more stuff. That means they're not available. You can't add it. There's no space for them. They're too big. And then of course there is miscellaneous items. We could add another first aid kit if we want, and that's it. If you want to take a look at what we have here, then we could just try it. Basically, just like we were looking at, let's go to our assault rifle, and then go to your gear, and you could see what we added. So we have your uniform, your vest, and your backpack. So if you click on your uniform, we have one first aid kit and 3 of these. We click on our vest, we have 3 mags of this, 4 mags of that, 5 RGN grenades, and one RGO grenade. We click on the backpack, 1 first aid kit, 3 rocket grenades, and 1 explosive charge, and that's it. The other icons here, which you can barely see, let's look at it like this. So we have a boonie hat, a face mask, a suppressor for this gun, a flashlight, your sights here, and we have a clip already loaded, and we shot a few rounds, so this will drop. Then we have the rocket launcher here, our pistol, its suppressor, its flashlight, and 1 clip loaded. Let's take a look at some of the other items, which would be the map, the compass, the watch, and all that. So let's hit escape, go back to Arsenal, and now that we've gotten that taken care of, we already have a headgear, we already have face wear. Do we want night vision? We could add night vision if we want. So let's give them NVG goggles, brown, and then I'll put night vision on top of his boonie hat here. So that's it. No other menus for that. And then binoculars. Let's give him some binoculars, so in case he comes into an area, he'll be able to see. So we could do that. You won't see any binoculars show up until you try it in game. And then you definitely want a map, so we'll give him a map. No terminal for this, we'll leave that as empty. And communication, we'll give him a radio. Navigation, you definitely want a compass, so you just click on that. Give him a watch so you can tell what time it is. Face is already established, voice is already established.
Standing by.
There we go.
Ready. Standing by. Awaiting orders.
Alright, so we'll go with that. And then insignia is basically what shows up in your shoulder. So let's give him this combat patrol insignia. That's basically that. That looks pretty cool. And now what you want to do is you're going to want to save this. So how do you save it? You go down to save, click on save, and basically we'll give it a name. Desert MX 6.5 Loadout. And what you do is you just click save. And if you want to load this up, it'll be in alphabetical order. Just keep that in mind. Whatever you name your loadout, it'll be automatically in alphabetical order. So I have a ton of loadouts, and this one is right about here. So if I click on empty loadout and put my guy back in the skivvies, and then go to load and load the loadout that we just created and click load, he'll be basically kitted out with everything that we chose earlier. And that's how that works. So there you have it. Alright guys, I hope that was informative. I hope I wasn't too trivial on certain things, but that's how you basically do it. This is the very basics of, the navigation and stuff. And I hope this helped you guys, and any questions you could put them in the comments. I'll leave a link in the description for the Arsenal wiki. Let's go to that page a minute and take a look. Alright guys, here we are on the Arsenal page. This is the BI Wiki for Virtual Arsenal. and this will give you more in-depth detail on virtual arsenal, kind of a description, and then this will teach you about exporting, how to use arsenal in a Zeus ammo box, use Zeus unit arsenal, Zeus respawn loadouts with arsenal, and then it'll give you different shortcuts in what they do. You can also learn how to mod with arsenal. Basically, you could put arsenal in your missions, into an ammo box, into a mod, and then of course there's different functions for the arsenal. So that's basically it. I'll leave a link for this in the description of the video, and you guys can check that out and do what you want with that. Alright guys, I hope you liked that. I hope that was informative and helped you. Thanks for watching. I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.